Happy Motivational Monday. How you doing? Good morning. Welcome back to the live stream. Hope you guys had a great weekend. As you can probably hear in my voice, still trying to get better from this COVID thing. Not that I have COVID, but it's kind of the aftermath. It's just I don't feel much better today than I did a week ago. But well enough to work. So that's all good. And this -8 degrees that we're experiencing here in the Chicago area, not helping out a whole lot. Well, welcome. And hey, Phil from Tokyo, thanks for checking in this morning. Make sure that you take a second, if you don't mind, and share in the live chat your name, where you're watching or listening from. My name is Bill DeWeese. I'm a professional voiceover talent. This is what I've been doing full time for the past 17 years. And I'm also a voiceover coach. Every weekday at this time, we hop on YouTube for a few minutes just to share a thought, tip, trick, strategy, something to help you, or on Mondays to motivate you to have a more successful voiceover business, to make more money in voiceover. Today, yes, indeed, is like it or not, it is Motivational Monday. So I found a quote. I'm going to share this little quote with you because this is for me, this summarizes the struggle of people who do struggle. Not everybody struggles in voiceover, and usually the ones who don't, there's always work to be done. So, work, I guess you can consider it a struggle to some extent. But when I say struggle, I mean people who just don't make progress. They tend to be people who are standing around the edges of voiceover, kind of looking at it, examining it, looking underneath, behind, from the side, and thinking of like 1,001 questions in their mind that they feel they need to have answered before they move forward. And I thought this quote hit it so well. It hits the nail on the head. You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. Every Thursday in my coaching group, the Voiceover Blueprint, we have a get together of those who are in their first 6 months in the training program. And it's to specifically address the needs of there's always specific needs of those who are newer at anything, the questions and the things that you're dealing with. And I always know what the biggest issue is. It's always the same issue. And there may be 100 different questions, but the issue is always this. That somebody thinks they need to figure this out before they can do the main things they need to be doing. For instance, recording, creating their demos, marketing. There's 1,001 things that people perceive and think they need to do before they can actually do the thing. That is paramount to standing on the side of the lake or the ocean and staring out at the water and wanting to go sailing, but you're always staring at the water and you never step into the boat because you think you have to have every single thought or question that crosses your mind addressed or answered before you can actually do anything. So I want you to listen carefully because I've been doing this for a long time. I've worked with many, many, many people in building their voiceover careers. You don't need to know everything. You don't have to have it all figured out. The questions will come up and you'll be able to get answers to those questions as you go. But you can't possibly understand everything and know every conceivable scenario that might arise before you step forward. There comes a point in time where you got to quit staring at the water and you got to jump in. You just have to. Otherwise, nothing ever happens. So on this Motivational Monday, my question for you is, what is one thing? Doesn't have to be a big thing. Can be a small thing. What one small thing can you do today that you're hesitating, that you're putting off, that you're fearful to do because you think you need to figure out 1,001 other things before you do it? Find one small thing. Maybe it's transcribing a script. Maybe it's recording a script for your demo. Maybe it's reaching out. Maybe you have your demo. Maybe you need to reach out to a talent roster. Maybe you need to make a phone call to a prospective client or send an email. What's the one thing you can do today? And I just want you to do that one thing. And you may think, well, that's not really all that much, Bill. One thing is a lot because you can build on one thing. You can't build on zero. If you're staring at the water, you can't build on that. But if you're willing to step into the water, take one step, you can build on that. Because tomorrow you can do one more thing. And it's amazing with a little bit of time, when you just do one little thing every day that moves you forward, all of a sudden you've got it's like that little snowball, the little proverbial snowball that starts to get bigger and gains momentum and gets stronger and gets faster as it goes. But that snowball never starts unless it's pushed down the hill just a little bit. You never make progress if you're standing on the shore staring at the water. You got to step in. I know I talk about this quite a bit. And the reason I talk about it is because it is the number one thing that keeps people from moving forward. I see it over and over again. And it's human nature. Don't beat yourself up about it. That's just the way that's the way people are. We do that. We are wired. We are wired to protect ourselves. And so oftentimes we're trying to protect ourselves from failure, but what we do is we insulate ourselves from success because we never take a step. We're always staring, looking, analyzing, trying to don't want to touch it, but want to figure it out before we even touch it. Stick your hands in there. Get them dirty. Make mistakes because you can't make progress without mistakes. That's just the reality of it. So today, let me pull this up again. You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. Today's your day to quit staring. One thing, I don't care how small it is, one little thing. I want you to do it today. And I want you to post in the comments of this video what you did, how you felt after you did it. And then come back to this video and post updates as you begin to do something every day to move you forward in your voiceover career. And it'll be a motivation to everybody who watches and reads the comments. Sometimes all we need is a little encouragement, a little shove, a little push to know somebody else is doing it too. And I know there's a lot of you guys who are doing it. There's also a lot of you guys who want to do it. And you're the one standing on the shore and you're looking at it and you haven't quite figured out that first thing you're going to do because you don't want to mess anything up. You're not going to mess anything up. Nothing's permanent. You're not going to screw anything up indefinitely. Any mistakes that you make can be corrected, but you've got to get in there. You've got to get your hands in there. So this is me on a Motivational Monday giving you that gentle, friendly, loving push and say, do one thing today. All right, let's see who we've got on the live stream this morning. As I mentioned earlier, we've got Phil from Tokyo. Hey, Phil, what's going on? In Florida, we've got Bill. Good morning to you, Tyler, in Springfield, Ohio. Brendan in Rhode Island. Sandra in snowy Dallas-Fort Worth. Chris in Kampala, Uganda. Good morning, Chris. Sirius in Charlotte. Adam in Western Massachusetts. Bob in Reedsville, North Carolina. Miss Johnny, how you doing in Houston? Matt in Central New Jersey. Denise in Long Island. Mike in Spanish Fort, Alabama. Gregory, how are you? In Carrollton, in the Dallas area. Jason. And by the way, sorry about your Cowboys yesterday. Wow. That was, if you're a Cowboys fan, that would, I'm not, but if you were, I'm sure that was a very hard game to watch. Jason in Nebraska, loving the blueprint. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. And by the way, for those of you guys who are interested in further training, I've got, as always, links to my training resources in this description. I know a number of you are in my voiceover, my comprehensive training, coaching, mentoring, ongoing support program called the Voiceover Blueprint. So you can get that information there as well. Jason in St. Louis, good morning. Tracy, first time viewer from Texas. Fantastic, Tracy. Good to have you here. Corey in Whitehall, Wisconsin, where it's -10. Mike in Matawan, New Jersey. Sandra, -2 in Old Worthington. We're getting the weather updates. Jim in Fort Wayne. Bill, it's 7 degrees in Boise. We've got Gary in Lebanon, Tennessee, rather. Hey, Gary. Scotty in Brookings, South Dakota, he says. Rob also with a big burr in the Cincinnati area. Loveland. Hey, Rob. Craig in Maui vacationing. Craig, that's good on you. Good thinking. See, Craig has it right. That's rational thinking. It's January. Where can I go? Maui, of course. Why didn't we think of that? Don in Victorville, California. Ralph in Cedar Falls, Iowa. David, it's -10 in Gardner, Kansas. Hey, Mandy, it's gonna snow. Hunker down. Anthony, good morning to you in Phoenix. Ron in Charleston. David says, thanks, Bill. Going on the journey is the only way to figure it out. in Asheville, North Carolina. David, that's right. Yeah, the only way to figure it out is to get going. Krista, great point. She says, I learned to ask myself, what's one thing that, when done, will make everything else easier or unnecessary? Do that. That's Krista. I love that. Wally, good morning to you. Let's see here. Wally is in Annapolis, Maryland. Amanda saying, got to make those calls, not just send the emails. Yeah, if you're willing to make those calls, that is a very effective thing to do. I know most people aren't, including myself. I'm not comfortable making cold calls to prospective clients, but I've made so many over the years, and I've had success with doing it. And nobody's ever yelled at me. Nobody's ever been rude to me. Nobody's ever hung up on me. And about 9 times out of 10, when you ask them that magic question, if they're accepting demos, what do they say? Sure, gotta do it. Hey, Becky, we've got, let's see, I made my first VO invoice template and sent it out for payment yesterday. Felt real. Excuse me. Rebecca, that is real. That's the good stuff right there. We've got, let's see here. Peter in the UK says, hi, Bill and everyone. Small steps, big gains. That's right, Peter. Thank you. Scotty, time to hoist the sail. This involves raising the sail to catch the wind to propel the boat forward. Scotty, that is good. Michael in Tennessee. We've got a first-time poster here from Hillsboro, Ohio. Good morning. Caleb, good morning to you in Boulder. It's snowing in -2. And I still got to go sling packages. That's right. Regardless of the way, come snow, come hail, come sleet, whatever, packages got to get out. Gregory, I've got real and listened to past submissions and discovered that the sound quality was not there. All right, that's way to analyze that. We talked about that last week. I fixed that. I'm heading back into the sound closet, and yes, we are in prayer about that loss. Oh, thank you, Gregory. I appreciate that. My mother-in-law passed last week, so I appreciate your kind remark. Penny in Oregon, how are you doing? 18 degrees. Mandy in Westchester. We've got JR saying happy MLK Day from frozen Austin, Texas. Yes, indeed. Go Steelers. Yeah, that Steelers Buffalo game got pushed back to today because of the snow. And who knew it snowed in Buffalo? I was talking to my wife yesterday. I remember some Bills-Bengals playoff games from the early 80s. We were early in our marriage, and I remember our little apartment watching the playoffs, and it was so cold. We lived in Columbus, and it was bitter cold. And I remember the game being played. I don't remember if it was in Buffalo or Cincinnati, but I remember there was so much snow. Crazy. JR in Austin, Texas. Let's see here. And Voice156 says, thank you for the tip. Auditioning even more now. Fantastic. Guys, thanks for being here. I hope you find this suggestion, this tip, this quote inspiring and motivating. And more importantly, I hope you do it. It's time to stop staring at the water. Time to stop thinking about it, analyzing it, contemplating it, meditating on it. It's time to get your hands in there. Time to take a step forward, do something. Even if it blows up in your face, who cares? Just do something. Pick one thing today. Again, post your experience in the comments below. You guys, have a great day. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow morning.